We will now be taking a look at the vocational block. The vocational block is only seen in one chapter, and that is in the vocational block chapter in Outlast Whistleblower. And yeah, so kind of continuing more with the sections seen in Outlast Whistleblower. This is the vocational block, which is located in the kind of part of the drying ground here, so it's more towards the back left corner if you're facing the building from the front. And yeah, and that means it is going to be located to the left of the prison block and right behind the male ward. And of course, there is the corridor that connects basically all of the aforementioned sections together. And yeah, so kind of talking more about the actual structure here. It is 3 stories tall, kind of keeping up with the 3-story structure. Plus, it does have an attic floor, so kind of the 4th floor, if you will. And an interesting part about the actual attic space is that you can actually access it. There's an actual interior for the attic, unlike basically all of the sections we've come across thus far. And so more on that once we actually get to it. But yeah, one difference here with the vocational block compared to other sections is it is actually made out of brick, so it's not sandstone like all of the other sections we've seen. It also does have kind of this this stone band, or kind of more like concrete, just kind of this band that runs around the entire structure. It's basically located at the base, actually right below the actual floor for the 3rd level. And so yeah, but you still got the gray shingled roof here, which kind of has kind of these metal strips here. So they're green here. And you also kind of see that at the edges here. Yep, at the ridges here. Also, I think it's called valleys. But anyways, yeah, that's basically it for the structure. Just one main entrance here. So this right here is the main entrance. This is kind of really the front. I would consider it to be the front of the vocational block. So right across from the prison block here. And of course, the only other way you can really access the vocational block is through the corridors from the male warden prison block. And that's pretty much it. So there's no underground access, just like we saw with the hospital. There really is no basement to these sections. And yeah, so anyways, that's pretty much it for the structure. Now, as to what the vocational block is going to be used for, basically, vocational relates to an occupation or employment. I'm sure some of you have heard about vocational schools, and so which basically train people for some specific job or trade, and so that really relates to what the vocational block is going to be used for. Basically, it's a way for the patients to not only really pass the time while they're staying here, but actually develop some meaningful skills while they're going to be staying here for some time. And basically, it would be a form of therapy or occupational therapy that you actually do see in other asylums and mental hospitals, pretty much. This is an actual thing that does go on. And so Mount Massive Asylum is no exception to the rule. And so later you're going to see there's art rooms, woodworking shops, sewing shops, so you're going to be seeing all of that once we actually head inside. Really the only difference from this time period to now is because you do have to keep in mind that Mount Massive was built and was operating in the 1960s, is that the workspaces are actually separated by gender, and that's why there are 2 vocational blocks with an asterisk at the end, because this is not confirmed that this structure right here, the so-called mystery building I've referred to in older videos, is actually a second vocational block just for female patients, whereas the vocational block that we're going to be taking a look at now is for male patients. And so I've actually done a video on this, but basically this hallway here, this is for the actual, would be used by male patients when going from either the prison block or the male ward to get to their workspace, whereas, again, I'm going to bring this up later, this set of hallways is going to be used for, it's going to be used by female patients to get to their workspace from either the prison block or the female ward all the way on the other side there. And so, yeah, again, I've already kind of talked about this in the drawing ground when we took a look at that. And yeah, so that's basically it for that. I think it's now about time to finally head inside now and see what they're, take a closer look at that. So yeah, again, I don't think there's really anything interesting to really talk about. So yeah, it's pretty bare on all these other sides here, but again, you're not really supposed to be seeing this. There are windows here, so you just don't see them on the outside. And so yeah, kind of get a basic look at the structure here. So yeah, it's like it's almost like 2 rectangles here. So like this rectangle, you can kind of have this as a rectangle, and then this is another little section here. And it does have a courtyard in the center here. So the vocational block does look pretty large, but a decent amount of space is taken up by this courtyard here. And so yeah, you got chimneys, some smokestacks here. Of course, you do have the water tower in very close proximity to the actual structure here. And yeah, oh yeah, you also got these structures here. Yeah, they don't really serve any purpose as far as I'm aware. It's just for decoration. Just kind of these like brick structures, and also got a little bit of concrete here that just kind of jut out at the front here. So there's 2 on each side. And so yeah, the windows here, yeah, they're very unique. You don't see these anywhere else. They're just for the vocational blocks. And so yeah, now it's time to head inside here. So yeah, we've got the main entrance again. It's kind of this kind of shed area. So there's like these storage areas on each side here. It's kind of storage rooms with a door and everything, except it's all just, it has these metal grates on one side. And yeah, so you got some windows here. Yeah, these windows we've seen in some of the sheds before, in the courtyard and also the drying ground. So they've also been applied here. And yeah, so again, there's 2 on each side. You also got some stairs here, so it's a vocational block. Even though it doesn't have a basement, it is raised up a little bit. And yeah, the entrance here isn't anything elaborate. It's just basic double doors here, the metal doors with windows. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, just one archway here. So yeah, kind of got your main entrance area. Again, it's nothing crazy here. Just basic room here. It's relatively bare, which kind of goes with what you're going to be seeing for the interior of the vocational block. It's pretty basic. Again, this is just supposed to be a workspace, so of course it's not going to be overdone in its decorations. So just bare walls here with tile in some areas on the first floor, but then later you're going to see it's mostly just wood flooring, and that's it. And even wood planking has been applied to the actual ceiling, so it does look kind of almost, some people would almost call it unfinished pretty much, but that's just because this, again, it's a workspace environment. It's not going to be, again, overdone or anything like that. Just whatever gets the job done, pretty much. And so yeah, these light fixtures, you're also going to be seeing very kind of these smaller light fixtures, kind of bowl-shaped with the light bulb. We did see some of these in the prison block, but there's a lot more of these in the vocational block and or vocational blocks. And yeah, and these pillars, you see them a lot too. So a lot of the rooms in the vocational block are very large, as you're going to see. So you're going to have a lot of these wood pillars here. And they also kind of have these wood planks here as well, just kind of supports, just kind of these beams for additional support, just to hold up the weight of everything. And yeah, but then you have the usual stuff, so ventilation ducts here, fire suppression system, so all of that as well. You know, radiators. So yeah, and on each side of this area is 2 offices, so one on each side. So there are a few offices here. There's also another one on the first floor, and there's also one on the second floor. And so yeah, again, pretty large room, and it's kind of been split off into the different areas here. So got the glass panels, kind of similar to what we saw in the wards, some of their offices. This isn't too different. So again, a lot of like desks and just space like that, you know. Let's see. So yeah, some shelves here, more desks, some shelves, bookcases, and some paintings. So in some of these areas, there are even paintings. That's really the only type of decoration you're going to be seeing, like any kind of detail in the vocational block. So yeah, filing cabinet, so pretty standard kind of office space here. Again, nothing too crazy, just brick here. So yeah, on most of the exterior walls, it is just brick. And then on some of the interior walls, really, it's just this bare kind of wall here. So again, not really a whole lot to really talk about here. There's also a door on this side here, so there are a couple of doors to access this office from the entrance or even out here in the hallway. And it seems like there would be a door here as well, because you do see a gap here, but the only issue is there's a bookcase on this side. So there are doors on the upper floors of this area, so you would assume there will be one down here. It's just there's a bookcase here. So yeah, out here in the hallway, so this right here is the courtyard, so you do have like this hallway that kind of wraps around it. So again, just bare walls. You got more of these wooden beams and pillars. And you have windows overlooking the courtyard, so there's like 3 on each wall. So 3 on this side, 3 on that side, and then on this side, except there's a door here to actually access the courtyard. So yeah, this just kind of wraps around. This goes back into the office. And so our next stop here is this room. I'm not really sure what this is, but judging by the amount of bookcases, it's just kind of like a study room probably. So for the patients to actually read up on what they're going to be doing, I'm guessing. That's my best guess. So yeah, again, pretty decent sized room. Again, you have 2 doors here. With a window, except it's one of the smaller ones, kind of this rectangular one. So yeah, wood doors here. And yeah, again, you're going to be seeing that a lot of this is going to be original, hence why the condition looks so bad. So Murkoff did not decide to restore the vocational block at all, since they really didn't have a need for it. Again, with what the vocational block was being used for, of course they weren't going to need it anymore. So when they purchased the asylum, so it would have just been a waste of time to remodel it. And so yeah, this is basically all original. And yeah, so 2 windows on this side, the 2 larger windows, and this overlooks that area in the drying ground. So kind of this area here. And the windows don't exactly really line up that well because one of them intersects this wall here. So again, kind of a bit weird. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So again, not a whole lot to really talk about since there's not a whole lot of details here. Yeah, going down here. And so we kind of come to a 4-way intersection. So from here you can actually access the prison block and mail ward. You have this hallway here. And so yeah, directing you towards the mail ward. And so from here, if you keep going straight, you'll reach the prison block eventually. And over here is the mail ward. Of course, this is the area that Waylon goes through to actually eventually reach the administration block. So yeah, just a single light bulb. Again, it's very bare, just more of this tile and bare walls. A lot of metal doors as well you're going to be seeing. These, again, these doors that are pretty universal amongst the actual design of the building. It's a single exit sign there. And you even got a emergency evacuation plan here, which is pretty neat. Again, you don't see a lot of in-game floor plans. The only problem with this one is it's not actually accurate to the building itself. So you can see it does show not just the vocational block, but also the mail ward and the administration block, which is color-coded. Except this floor plan isn't accurate. I've made a video discussing this a little bit more in detail, and yeah, it's mostly not accurate. So yeah, but still kind of a cool thing to include. And yeah, I even got a key here and what to do if there is an emergency, one of which is don't cry. So, and yeah, and from here you can also access another important feature, and that is the only staircase in the vocational block. So just the one staircase. There is also an elevator, as you can see here. So just one staircase and elevator, and that's pretty much it in this kind of the middle section here, kind of the center of the vocational block. It's right behind the courtyard. And the staircase itself isn't anything remarkable, just again kind of this U-shaped staircase with a landing. It is a little bit on the smaller side, as you can see when you go onto the upper floors. You actually have to go through a door if you want to go up another floor, since the railing just goes right up to the actual edge here. So yeah, pretty basic staircase. Again, just some wood handrails here. Pretty basic, but again, it gets the job done. It's a staircase. So yeah, nothing underneath there. And the elevator itself isn't anything remarkable either. It's pretty, the actual cab here, it's very bare. Yeah, single light fixture with the Boswick gate here. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, in the actual area that this is all located in, again, it's very bare. There's not really a whole lot to talk about here. Yeah, just some shelves on the one side. But this does also contain the door that leads into this courtyard. So it does get a little courtyard at least. So just to get some fresh air. Which also does even come with a fountain here, which is nice. And a little pathway that goes around the entire edge here, so just a circular pathway, which does connect up with these stairs that has the door leading back inside. You have a couple of benches here, these picnic tables, lamp posts, sorry, and some shrubs here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, this courtyard isn't very, very big compared to other outdoor spaces. But it's still a nice little spot here. And yeah, so heading back inside, I guess we'll keep kind of going not counter, we'll just keep going clockwise, pretty much. So yeah, again, that's how you go back to the male warden prison block. Going on over here, yeah, we just have a storage room. Again, pretty basic room here. Just has a few shelves, nothing really too interesting. On the left-hand side is a kitchen here, so there actually is a kitchen here. Not really sure what it's for. It might be connected to a gymnasium some way, which we're actually about to get into. And it's like most other kitchens we've seen, so just prepping areas, stoves, refrigerators. So just the typical stuff you expect to find. Again, it's pretty basic, except it does have a different flooring, so it has more tile than wood. But it does have the wood ceiling as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's the only entrance. There are some ventilation ducts here, which of course Wayland does use in the game. Also got some ventilation over here. Well, really the hoods for ventilating the stoves. We have some pots and pans, some cabinet space, and that's pretty much it. And over here, we do have the gymnasium. And yeah, so gymnasium is 2 stories tall, so it's the only area in the vocational block that's 2 stories tall. And so, yeah, so what you would actually do here, I mean, yeah, you do have some basketball hoops here. So similar to the ones we saw in the recreation area. So yeah, there's 4 in total. And so I'm guessing we do have probably some gymnasium equipment here. And so just basically stuff you would expect to find in a gymnasium and the stuff you would actually be doing here. So again, a little bit more on the athletic side. So you do want some of the patients to basically remain in shape pretty much. And so that's kind of what this is for. And so again, just more brick here. And just bare walls on the upper portions and on the other sides here. We have 6 windows on the upper floor here, so there's no windows on the lower level except just the top here. And we also do have windows on the interior, so again on the second floor here, so there actually is a room on the second floor, and when you are in it you can look down into the gymnasium. So you got 3 windows, 2 on this side and 1 on the one side here. And so yeah, there's another entrance here, so there's 2 ways to access the gymnasium. There's also this hallway here, which kind of makes a 90-degree turn. And really the only purpose of this is to bypass the gymnasium. So if you're in this area and you want to go over here, you don't have to go through the gym, you can just go through here instead. And you'll still end up in the same spot. Again, basic hallway here, I don't really need to go too much into it, I don't think. Just a door on each side here. Again, a lot of doors at regular intervals here. And right over here is a locker room. So again, this would definitely be for the gymnasium. Just, of course, you want to change into some different clothes after working out, of course. So there's no actual showers, which is a bit odd. You just get lockers and some urinals, and that's pretty much it. And yeah, and these windows are interesting because these are the only ones you see in the entire vocational block, and really the building as a whole. So they're the same as these ones, except they have just less glass panes here. So yeah, benches as well. So yeah, just your standard locker room here. Again, it looks a little bit nicer because of the tile, but again, it's still pretty bare. Just again, more of that wood ceiling. The wood beams here, and even some exposed piping as well. So yeah, it's definitely rusted a bit here, as you can see. So again, this is all abandoned. Now some sinks on the one side with a mirror, and that's pretty much it here. So yeah, this is all at the back of the vocational block here. You have 2 doors here. Right across from it is kind of another library, I would guess. So bookcases and stuff like that, and that's pretty much it. Again, it's decorated in the standard vocational block style. So yeah, just double doors here, one on this side, and also on the one side here. Now kind of making our way to the right-hand side, so you do have a hallway that branches off and goes to the very end here, and it's at the very end is just a window. And from here, we reach this room. So this is at the very back right corner here. And this is some kind of classroom here, since it has a chalkboard on the one side and some kind of desks here. And there's also one out in the hallway here. And so, and yeah, this makes sense because again, you're kind of trying to train the patients to what they would be, they would be working here. So of course they're going to need a little background to know what they're going to be doing. So yeah, again, just bare walls, wood flooring, wood ceiling. That's pretty much it. Yeah, the 2 windows with some curtains here, which are green, interestingly enough. And yeah, you have some portraits here of some of the Asylum staff, well, former Asylum staff from back in the 1960s. And got some paintings out here as well. Of course, there's the one of the one we've seen already. Again, this is just repeated all throughout the building. It's the what looks to be the administration block, staircase and elevator. So kind of that area just looks a little bit different because it's in the wallpaper and flooring is different. And so another door here. Yeah, there's a few doors here out in these hallways. This eventually just leads you back to the staircase and elevator. Right over here is the other office I was talking about. And so you can see this one is pretty large as well. And it's a kind of a square shape. And so it does have 2 closed off areas on each side. This one is a little bit larger. Basically inside is just more desks. So just more workspaces here. This one has the double doors right across from the classroom doors. And so there are doors inside of this area as well, just the single doors. And yeah, this blue stained glass here, which is pretty interesting. And yeah, just a single exterior window, which actually does not line up with the exterior wall. As you can see, there's kind of this space inside. So this was always odd to me. How they just never kind of extended that to the exterior wall, but then again, that really doesn't matter because you really shouldn't know about that. Again, using mods, you find out so much that you normally wouldn't. And so yeah, just not a whole lot going on, just the one bulletin board, more portraits, some bookcases. So yeah, again, this was being used as an office in back in the day. Also kind of got this stage here. I'm not really sure what that was being used for. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So again, not a whole lot to really talk about. Pretty basic room here. Just more ventilation ducts and the fire suppression system. That's pretty much it. And so yeah, now we're on the other side of the starting point here. So again, have a lot of symmetry here. A lot of similar sized rooms here. So yeah, we have this space here. Again, probably another kind of study room area. You do have some desks here, probably for studying. And then just bookcases, more portraits, got a very nice exterior view of the asylum. So 2 windows with curtains, again 2 doors on this side. And this actually looks out towards the water tower. And yeah, I've always liked this landscape painting as well. It's not actually from a site within the actual asylum as far as I'm aware, so it's just some landscape that's out there in the Outlast universe. I got some pipes here, yeah, just a lot of exposed pipes here. Not sure what that's for. So yeah, out here in the hallway, again, you have this tile that's out here in these hallways, and then just wood flooring in these rooms here. So yeah, another office here, similar to the one we saw on the very first room we saw. So yeah, 2 doors, one from the entrance and one from out in the hallway, except this door is in a different position here. And this office actually doesn't get like this area over here, where it's like the desks are arranged, and you got like the glass panels above it. This one lacks that, it just has this wall on this side over here. And so yeah, kind of trying to give you a good look at these areas in particular, because you can't actually access them normally. So that's what they look like. So yeah, nothing too interesting, just more desks. And so this room is relatively intact, so it can kind of give us an idea of how these desks are supposed to be arranged. So again, it does kind of help with my Minecraft map. And so yeah, again, a lot of this is pretty self-explanatory, I think. So just standard office in with the vocational block style, pretty much. So just more wood and relatively bare. And so that's pretty much it for the first floor. Now it's time for us to head upstairs to the second floor. And so up here, this is where you're going to find your woodworking shops, as well as the art rooms. And so yeah, again, you have the landing here, you have windows looking down into the courtyard. Again, you do have the elevator shaft, which does have a ladder here, which doesn't really go anywhere. And so yeah, the elevator car is down on the first floor there. And so all the elevator assembly there. Actually, this right here is the attic space. So it doesn't go up to the attic, it just stops at the 3rd floor. Alright, so 2nd floor here. So yeah, again, pretty bare. Just some shelves for containing supplies. And so yeah, going out back into the hallway here. So yeah, exit sign here. So again, this hallway connects to the prison block and mail ward. So, and you even see a sign that says admin block. I did see that some people thought that the vocational block and administration block were connected because of this sign that's over here, as well as over here. But that's just to basically say that if you keep going this way, you'll eventually reach the administration block. So I guess it would probably make more sense for it to say prison block here or 2 admin block. So, but again, this hallway is just very similar to one we saw below. So again, very, very bare. It just serves as a connection to the other sections of the asylum, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, just tile, bare walls. And so yeah, I guess we'll keep going clockwise here. Right over here is our first woodworking workshop. As far as I'm aware, so you do have some tables here, a lot of shelves as well, and so that's pretty much it. This isn't a room that you're supposed to access, so it's not really as overly done from what I see here. But from what I've been able to gather, this is a woodworking shop here. So you have shelves containing like actual wood here. And so yeah, and these windows here actually look towards the male ward. So I got these 2 windows here, and this right here is the dormitory that contains the lavatory that Miles was in. So this is one of the closest points that Miles and Waylon actually got to each other, since Waylon was going to be very close to Miles. In fact, I'll show you where he is very soon, since we're actually getting to that point. Let's see. So yeah, another sign that says admin block here. Again, this is a weird spot for it, because this is very far away from the administration block, or actually how to get to it. So this makes a little bit more sense. I'm not sure why this is here, since it doesn't even serve any point in the story, since you're still kind of a bit far from actually getting to the administration block. You still have to go through the rest of the vocational block and male ward even before getting to the administration block. And yes, another storage room here, not unlike the one we saw on the first floor, I would imagine, since you don't really get a good look at this space in the game. And it's also very dark, but yeah, this would just be another storage room. And so this area kind of wraps around. Again, this is the upper floor to the gymnasium, so this does allow you to have some windows that look down into it. And then we have this very large room here. It spans all the way to the other side. So it has 4 windows in total here. Again, this is all at the very back of the building. And it's got these very large radiators as well. So they're like about double the size of a normal one. So yeah, pretty bare room here in terms of how it looks. It does have a lot of shelves here and some tables here. Again, this is meant for woodworking from what I've been able to gather, as far as I can tell here. So yeah, lots of pillars here, since this is a very large room. It's right above the locker room and the classroom here. So just to give you an idea how large this space is. It contains another storage room. It's a little bit bigger than the other ones we've seen. So, but it's just another kind of standard storage room. It's hard to see, but again, it's just there's not a whole lot going on inside. It's a pretty bare room. This right here, this is a series of hallways here that lead you back towards a staircase and elevator. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this area. So yeah, just more brick here, more wood and everything. And eventually we come to the last woodworking area here, kind of workspace. And yeah, this is very infamous, since I think everyone knows what transpired in this room. basically Gluskin's torture room pretty much. So Gluskin did use one of the former woodworking shops, as basically his torture room. Which makes sense since this is why there is a saw here. So this would be for actually cutting wood. So that's why that's there. And so yeah. Again, pretty decent sized room here. 2 windows that look towards the secondary vocational block, and kind of this outdoor space with the one shed. And it does have this area that's closed off that contains a lot of tools here. So it does make sense. You wouldn't really want the patients to get a hold of tools outside of the work times. So it makes sense this would definitely be locked outside of normal operating hours. And yeah, a lot of shelves here. And yeah, just like work tables. And you do see a few of these like mannequins here, and that's for the sewing shops that we are going to be seeing on the 3rd floor. And so yeah, there's 2 ways to access this room. One is from the main area, and then there's also one from this hallway here. And this is actually how Gluskin drags Waylon along. You can't really see that well when you're actually inside the locker in first person, but if you use mods and you go into 3rd person, you can see that Gluskin actually drags Waylon through this area. So you start out in this locker, and he ends up dragging you through here and through here. And so that's where Waylon is incapacitated for 12 hours. And this is the closest that he ever gets, one of the closest times that he ever gets to being within, with Miles, pretty much. Well, not with him, but just like the closest he ever gets to him. So he's here, and of course Miles is in the male ward getting tortured, and while he's here, and specifically here, Waylon would be in the locker. So, in just another building that's right across from the male ward. And so yeah, now we're on the other side here. Now we're gonna kind of get into like these art rooms. So this right here seems to be kind of like a performing arts kind of room. So it's got like a stage here, and so some like wardrobes as well. So this would be some type of like performing arts room from my best guess. So yeah, a few tables here, and a shelf there, and a little dry erase board. But other than that, it's again just the kind of standard room you expect to find in vocational blocks. So wood flooring, wood ceiling, brick on the exterior wall, and just bare interior walls. 2 windows. Again, this looks towards the water tower. And you got 2 doors on this side. And you also do have an opening here that leads into the final office. So the only office that's on the 2nd floor. So again, it looks very similar to the one we saw on the main floor. So it's kind of closed off on this end with doors and windows. And so this is also it contains the locker that Waylon is captured in by Gluskin. And yeah, so more brick, more wood, more pillars, ventilation ducts, these light fixtures that we've been seeing so much throughout. So yeah, 2 windows here. This looks towards the drying ground. And there's also a door on this side as well. Actually, 2 doors. And also a door here. So there's a total of 4 ways to access this one room. And so, yeah, for some reason this door looks different. So like these ones have the smaller rectangular windows. This one has a just a square window for some reason. And yeah, not a whole lot going on back here since you never do go into here. You see this area, but you never actually step foot in here. So again, it's just more office space. So yeah, this all kind of wraps around this courtyard. Again, that courtyard takes up a lot of space in that middle section. And of course, this window over here is the one Waylon jumps out of to escape the second floor. So this all wraps around. So we have more art rooms here. So there are some art easels here, which basically that's how I came to that conclusion, that these are for like painting. And it also does seem like it's also revealed in a document in the prison block that the Asylum did have an art program at some point. Probably even while Murkoff had it, but they eventually ended up canceling it because Murkoff got greedy. And of course, they didn't really care about the well-being of their patients. And so, yeah, the art program got canceled. But it seems like even back in its heyday, there was an art program as well, since there's art easels here. And this very large portrait, yeah, of an exterior view of the Asylum on one of the art easels. There's also one on the wall here. And so yeah, again, pretty basic room here. Similar, basically the same layout as the office down here. And that's the one thing you really notice about the vocational block is a lot of these rooms are just like the same shape on each floor. So they're pretty repetitive. So yeah, we have one door on that side. We also have one on this side. And there's also a door connecting this room to the other art room. So again, more art easels and just like some mannequins here. Yeah, some tables here. So yeah, again, pretty self-explanatory, just more of the same rooms we've been seeing. So you have two windows here that look towards the male ward. And from here, you're also able to see the towers of the administration block. You got two doors on this side here. Again, this is all part of that hallway that wraps around the courtyard. And you got a door here. It kind of separates the hallway up a bit. And this leads back to the starting point of the second floor. So we've made a full circle now, which means it's now time for us to head up to the third floor. And the third floor is going to be your sewing department. So sewing areas, sewing workshop spaces, this is all that's up here. And so, yeah, I can see that the ceiling is a little bit lower, I think, it seems. The windows here are actually a different type, so they're these smaller rectangular windows than these windows. Although they're almost the same, except they're kind of flipped and they're missing a couple of panes of glass. So, but you do have kind of these unique windows here. That's on the third floor. But other than that, it's just a lot of the same stuff we've been seeing throughout. So yeah, at the very top floor of the staircase and elevator here. And so yeah, this is decorated a lot like the first and second floor. Just more bare walls and wood flooring and ceiling. Got more of these metal doors and the metal grates here. And so yeah, again, the hallway that wraps around the courtyard. And so this is going to be our first sewing space here, kind of sewing workshop. And so yeah, gonna try to show this area as best as I can, except it's very dark in some of these spaces. But this is basically what they look like. Just, brick exterior walls, bare interior walls, wood flooring and ceiling, and these tables with sewing machines on them, provided by Spatlin. So yeah, in case you had any doubts that this was for sewing, basically there's just these tables with sewing machines. And yeah, so there's a lot of them here. So there's quite a number of them in here, and there's several sewing shops here. So yeah, very large spaces. Again, this is right above the woodworking workshop, and this right here is above the gymnasium. So yeah, again, this is at the very back here. So again, very large rooms. You got 3 windows in this room alone. You got 2 in this one, and then another 2 on this side. So there's 7 windows on each floor at the back here. So that means this window would be centered with the actual center point here. So that means that this space is a little bit off-centered, since this one has 3 and this one only has 2. So yeah, and this is very open concept, so you just have a lot of openings here. So one room leads to another very easily, as you can see. So this whole area at the back here is connected with each other. So yeah, very open concept, just a lot of sewing machines, as you can see. I'm not sure of the exact number, but there's 12 in this one alone. Although this is kind of one of the smaller ones, so the larger ones would have a lot more. So yeah, just trying to give you a better idea of what this looks like. So again, got these larger radiators. Got the curtains again. And of course, this is where this scene is. So where you can get a note if you film this with your camcorder. And where you have the music playing, which is not playing currently because of the way that this mod works. So it just doesn't allow for the music to play for some reason or another. But then again, I'm not really concerned, since that song is 100 years old, so it's not like I'm gonna get copyrighted for it. And yeah, so the last kind of sewing workshop, although there are some others, but that's kind of it for this area at the back here. That's all connected. And this is the space that does contain this pull-down staircase that leads to the attic. So this is how you actually access the attic. It's through a single set of this pull-down staircase here. So not unlike the staircases that people have in their houses. So in my old house, I remember I had something like this. You just pull the stairs down with a little cable, and it swings the stairs down. One of my older houses, because I've had a few. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this space. So yeah, you got these doors here, and there's also another set of double doors out here as well. So 3 sets of double doors in total. And so back out here in the hallway, so there are a few storage rooms. So kind of in the center here. So not unlike the other ones we've seen. Again, it seems like a lot of these storage rooms are concentrated in this area here. So we had the ones down here as well. There's also a larger storage room on this side. You never end up going to this space, so you don't really end up seeing it, except, of course, with the exception of mods like how I'm using it. It's pretty bare, but I would imagine there would be shelves here and stuff like that, and that's pretty much it. And so yeah, this all just kind of wraps around, just more doors at regular intervals. And now going more towards the front of the vocational block, so more areas designated to sewing. So you have more tables here, you have some hampers, shelves here for storing clothes. And so again, this is all a lot like we've seen before. So just like the same room, except the ceiling is a little bit lower here. Yeah. So yeah, double windows, double doors. There's also an opening that leads into this area. So kind of like how the back, the areas at the back are like all connected. It's also the case for this area, since a lot of these spaces are also connected. So again, very open concept here, with the exception of this door here. And so, yeah, in this space you have more sewing machines. This is right above the office. So the office on the second floor, and also the first floor. So again, just the same shape and everything, and the same style. So yeah, more sewing machines, more shelves for clothes. And the only difference here is that there's supposed to be like windows here. So on the lower two floors there aren't windows here, but on the third floor there is, at least on the exterior. You don't actually end up seeing this on the interior. So you do have the two windows on this side though. So yeah, more wood pillars and beams. Got the center room here with two windows. Again, this looks out towards the prison block and drying ground. So you have double doors on this side, going back out into this hallway. And you also have like these devices here. I'm not sure what this is supposed to be. It's some kind of other kind of device from like the industrial age. So I think it has something to do for like sewing. I'm not exactly sure what this is. I haven't really looked into it much, but it does kind of remind me of that, of something you would see from that time. So something related to sewing. I'm just not exactly sure how this is supposed to work. So, but these two rooms over here do contain these devices. So the center room and this one on the left-hand side. Again, more shelves here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, it's pretty bare. And then over here you have more of your conventional sewing machines. So just the smaller ones on the set on the tables. So yeah, they definitely haven't been used in quite some time, just like the rest of the building. And so yeah, more double windows here, and yeah, this allows you to look out towards, again, the front of the building, and you get a really nice view of the towers of the administration block from here. And yeah, double doors. These ones don't have windows, interestingly enough. So there's no windows on these ones, just the bare wood doors. So yeah, rectangular shaped, except there's like this section that is kind of built into it. So there's just this empty space here. And yeah, so you're going to see that there isn't a hallway here, since the third floor isn't connected to the prison block and mail ward, only the first and second floor. And of course, when I say first and second floor, I mean first floor of the vocational block, since the first floor of the vocational block is on the second floor of the mail ward and prison block. So again, this whole area at the back is kind of raised up, as you can see here. So most of those like whistleblower sections, so even the hospital as well had that. And so that's going to be it for the third floor, which now means there's only one area left to explore, and that is the attic. And so, like I said, the attic floor can be accessed from this pull-down staircase. So again, pretty basic, just staircase here. And so it is located more towards the back on the right-hand side here. And so the attic space is basically, well, just an attic space. It's just for storage, as you can see here. It is quite the mess when you go up here. So there's just a lot of just junk up here. Just all sorts of stuff that's been thrown up here. And so I'm guessing that this is what the insides of the attics for the other sections would look like. So basically just a lot of wood here. A lot of these wooden trusses here as well. So it's just kind of like a cement floor. And a wood floor in some spaces, since the front of the attic is kind of raised up on like a concrete slab. And then the back is on a regular wooden floor here. And so yeah, so to actually access this front area, you have to go over here. So you have a door here, and kind of this stage here or stairs, because again, this area is raised. And so it's just one big space here, for the most part. With the exception of this little area that's closed off. This is the area that Waylon ends up falling through from the water tower. And so this is where Waylon ends up, so he's right on the other side of the staircase. So yeah, a lot of shelves here, as you can see, and just a whole lot of other junk. There's all sorts of stuff up here. All kinds of sorts of junk, like bins, cardboard boxes. There's even a bed up here for radio. And some like gym equipment as well. So yeah, lots of stuff up here. It's pretty dark as well, so I'll try my best to kind of walk you through this, since there's only 2 windows that's up here. So at the front here. And yes, yeah, art easels. And so yeah, this goes back to this area. So yeah, the back of the attic is quite different because it's divided into so many spaces. Whereas the front is just mostly one big open area. This area has a lot of just these like smaller areas. And also like these thick walls that you can actually like walk through. And so, okay, so yeah. From here, so yeah, you have this area, so just storage spaces, a lot of shelves, again, and just these wooden trusses. And so this leads you back towards the staircase. Again, you can kind of walk inside these walls here. You know, rats in the walls and all that Dennis proclaims. And so there's also this area at the side. So yeah, just a lot of storage. That's pretty much all that's up here. And of course, you got the slope of the roof here. There's a document. So yeah, just bare light bulbs up here. And kind of this, all the way at the back here, I don't think you can actually access this spot. So it's just more. Now there's not a whole lot, basically. And yeah, this area gets pretty interesting because it's just got like all these walls here, just basically thrown about. Oh yeah, so the door here. So you kind of got these areas that are separated. Of course, this is where Waylon comes face to face with Dennis. And yeah, again, I don't think I really need to go into this too much, since again it's just mostly storage, and it's also kind of hard to see at some points. But I'm going to try to kind of show everything as best as I can here. So again, this is all at the very back here. And so yeah, the attic is pretty tall, so the walls don't actually end up extending the full height here, so that means you have a lot of this open space at the top here. So you can kind of just fly around the entire attic like so. So that's pretty neat. So just kind of a full 360 of the attic here. And of course, in the center you do have the courtyard. And so yeah, Waylon eventually ends up climbing up here to reach the staircase. And there's also a door that leads back into this area here. And yeah, that's basically the attic of the vocational block. Which also means that is going to conclude my look at the vocational block. Well, the male vocational block, just the first vocational block. And of course, next we are going to look at that secondary vocational block. And so I will see you there.